Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada Sportsbook.
Oilers. What the fuck was that? I don't know. I don't know what to call that game. Jack Campbell goes from having the best game of his tenure with the Oilers to the worst game. And Woody left him in there the whole way through. Zach, this is Zach Wheel. We're both really flustered, as you can tell. My name's Dennis Lee. We're bringing you Game Over Edmonton tonight, and yeah, game over. This was a disgusting loss. Usually I have something fun to say, and I wrote it down. Oh, the Oilers couldn't rally, but that's not a rally. We got routed. 7-2? Are you kidding me? I know we're without Kane against the Canes. Haha, funny. But this is a team that's 8-7 right now, and it's not playing like a team that deserves to be over 500. There's something going on in the NHL this season where teams are just either getting absolutely caved or flipping around and just making the comeback of their lives. But anyway, let's recap. The Oilers failed to secure a win against a rookie goalie playing his 4th NHL game. But you know who ain't no rookie? Our sponsor, Sports Interaction. Want to bet? You can do it at Sports Interaction, Canada Sportsbook. Football continues, basketball's back, and the hockey season is well underway. Bet pre-game, live, in play, or on one of our many prop bets. Made for Canadians by Canadians, Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit, play, and cash out. Join now and see all sports betting has to offer. Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. That's sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. Ontario only, 19 plus. Please play responsibly. I see we have a little bit of activity in the chat. Shaden, hi. Good to see you in here. Calgary lost tonight. That's good. A handshake line respect. Hey, I'm happy to have you in here.
Yep.
Handshakes. I don't know how happy we would be to shake anyone's hand.
Calgary's loss, just going on what Shaden said. Calgary's loss is the only one of the only positive things tonight. Thank God the Pacific Division is just awful. If they weren't awful, we'd be screwed. Any other division, the Oilers would already be out of the playoffs. This is embarrassing. This was atrocious. I am so furious. I don't even know where to start. If you told me Carolina had just spawned in their goalie from before the game, I've never heard of this guy a day in my life. They literally, I still don't believe he actually exists. There's got to be someone else wearing that jersey. That guy is fake, and until proven otherwise, I don't believe this guy is real. We got a ton of things to touch on. We got a ton of things to say. Absolutely furious. But one of the most frustrating stats of all tonight, out of everything, I'm not sure who's watching, if he believes in expected goals or not.
We got a Leafs fan in Martin here. We got Canucks fan, good boy Clay. Hey, how's it going, man? Thanks for dropping by. We got some viewers, but yeah, this is abysmal.
Well, yeah, I see there's 18 people watching now, you guys, and we only got 5 likes. So if you want to all hammer that like button, you want to go retweet our tweets. Let's make a goal. Let's try and get to 30 people watching live concurrently. But again, just getting back on track. The most frustrating stat of all tonight is, according to moneypuck.com, the Oilers had 6.27 expected goals to Carolina's 3.8. Oilers deserved, if you just go off the spreadsheets, if you go by the deserve to win a meter, the Oilers, this is a game they can win. They played well enough to win. I know we can go and look at individual goals, and we can go break down a ton of plays and find 15 players who made horrible mistakes that cost them. But the root of this problem, the very core, is Jack Campbell. What an atrocious effort. I think we can all agree the game against Tampa was the anomaly. He played good for about 4 periods. He played good in the first period against Dallas. He played good for 3 periods against Tampa. Tonight,
honestly,
for the first period,
he played good for the first 5 minutes tonight.
Yeah,
and
for the first period, I'll give him credit. For the first 19 minutes and 45 seconds, until Carolina scored their first goal, he was playing good. I don't really fault him on the first goal. Starting from goal 3 onwards, should not ever, ever, ever go in your net. Like, you are an NHL goalie. You make $5 million for the next 5 years. You were brought here to do a job. And I don't want to hear, and I don't even have to listen to this post-game interview, because we know he's going to come out. He's go, oh, gee, well, I was pathetic. My team deserves better. Shut up. Stop. Play better. That's it. There's no, like, it's an act as old as time. We saw it in Toronto. For the 2 months he was fantastic. And then after that, he's like, my team deserves better. I should have played better. I could have done this. Shut up. Stop. Like, just do it or don't. And if you're not, then don't go in the net. Because you telling me Calvin Pickard couldn't put up a .781 save percentage tonight? Bro, like, I swear to God, you could stand still and just hope the puck hit you and you would get a .781 save percentage.
Honestly,
again, my God.
Keeping it at just a simple goalie duel. Who is this guy on the other side? Koka, what? A Kochetkov? Who is this guy? We are losing. The Oilers have this tendency to lose against rookie goalies, and I don't know where it comes from. Yes, we didn't give enough run support up front, but it sure is hard when you're letting in 7 on a night, especially like you mentioned, on the final minute of 2 periods, in the final dying seconds of the period. That's like, so deflating.
Campbell was caught sleeping so many times, and just to watch him, like, it was, last year we get so frustrated when we'd see Mike Smith yell at Evan Bouchard or Duncan Keith or whoever from 50 feet up. But to watch, I almost am getting more frustrated. Twice now, we've seen Jack Campbell letting a goal, like, bounce off his glove. Like, that would be on a SportsCenter top 10. If that was a baseball player, it'd be on a SportsCenter misplays of the month or whatever. Like, it was just atrocious. He just sits there and he stares at his glove like there's a hole in it. Like, no, there's not a hole in it. Just, what are you doing? Like,
it's happened twice, and we look at it. I mean, the other night was the first anomaly, and you go like, oh, is there a hole in it? Yeah, that one's kind of wide. Tonight looked fine. Tonight it was like, no, the stitching's tight. Like, dude, you didn't get a good enough beat on it. It just blew right past.
Yeah, you were caught sleeping, like, numerous times. They were caught sleeping. And I see Bogey in the chat. That's Coochie to you. And like, again, I say this a ton, full credit. Like, he played fantastic. He's one of the he's a big reason. The Oilers had 6.7 expected goals on a quarter money puck. Like, Coochie is a big reason why the Oilers didn't score. I know
cojones to go for the poke check on Hyman's breakaway.
Well, Nuge had a shorthanded breakaway. He stopped a penalty shot from Holloway. Draisaitl, I swear to God, he put a dent in the net. How hard he hit the post. Like, the Oilers had their chances. McDavid had a post 15 seconds before Carolina scored their first goal. The Oilers had their chances. Could they have been a little bit better on finishing? Absolutely. One thing that I was hearing as an excuse tonight was people are saying, oh, well, the Oilers are without Kane and Yamamoto. They're out without two of their top 9 wingers. Are you kidding me? Like,
Yamamoto, who's gone 0-3-3, 3 assists, 3 points on the season. Wow, we missed.
Yeah, exactly. Yamamoto was good. Like, Yamo's in the lineup. That changes nothing. And Kane has been absent, for this game, but this is the same team that's played in the last 13 games. This is not a different team. The same problems, the same fundamental issues with goaltending, with their defensive coverage, with the plays that their D-men just make. I don't understand. We can get into Tyson Barrie later, but it's the same fundamental issues that show their face time and time again. Some questionable decisions by Jay Woodcroft. I hate questioning the coach. He's in year 1 of a brand new deal. It's not his fault by any means, but, like, there's just, from top to bottom, there's questionable decisions from everyone. Like, everyone, I want to say it's death by a million cuts, but Jack Campbell is responsible for 500,000 of those cuts, if you know what I mean.
Let's go back to, Woody, what he's going to say tonight. We didn't give a good effort out there. No. Let's just put it in the rearview mirror. We're going to look forward. We're going to go to Florida and we're going to fight hard there. Kaner's going to be with the team at least in Florida. But you can't just lose 7-2 with so many ugly goals, gifting a hat trick to Svechnikov.
6 goals
getting
in 2
him
games.
his 100th career goal. Like, this is just a lazy game.
And Carolina
by the
came into this game.
Oilers game.
Carolina came into this game not being able to score. Rod Brindamore was so frustrated, and they're, thank God, who are you going to call slump busters? The Oilers show up, and all of a sudden, they're the best offensive team in history. Like, it's just absolutely so frustrating. Every player made mistakes tonight. The players were fighting the puck. One thing, because we're going to spend majority of this broadcast shitting on them. One thing that I will say, the only, legitimate, I don't even want to call it an excuse. The only thing that I noticed tonight that I could say, okay, this definitely affected their play. I don't know if I was the only one who noticed this, but it felt like this is the worst ice I've ever seen. To me, if you look at just the Oilers' first power play, they were setting up plays, but the puck was bouncing so much. The ice seemed so bad. But again, both teams play on the same ice. Carolina was in the exact same. Exactly. And Carolina was in the exact same position. I will say that was weird. The ice seemed absolutely atrocious tonight. But this is the game where you just are you see Campbell's play and you're like, you cannot afford to keep falling in the hole. I know Calgary lost. I know the Pacific's not that good, but Campbell, if it was up to me, and this might just be the frustration coming, I don't think Campbell should see the net till the back-to-back at the end of the month with Minnesota and Chicago. I think they play Minnesota on December 1st. Campbell can start that game. Minnesota, I don't think has had the best season. Let him take that game. But for the net, I don't care if Skinner has an 890 save percentage. You're still better than what Campbell does. And Skinner has had only one, so-so game. He's not had any bad games. Run with Skinner. You're going to keep giving up these defensive collapses, these miscues, these grade A chances that you're going up, regardless of if Campbell or Skinner is in net. You're still going to give them up. Can we just talk about on the first goal? I saw a lot of people blaming Connor McDavid for his play on the boards because he, didn't get into the battle, didn't win the battle. Well, McDavid made a bad read. Yeah, he anticipated the puck going one way, but it went another. It went up to the point for the Canes. But McDavid,
this isn't McDavid pulling a Gaudreau and leaving Draisaitl alone.
McDavid could Alex Ovechkin one-timer a puck right into the Oilers' net on one knee, and I would still not blame him. He deserves, he's good for so much. I will not blame him for anything. I don't care. Stop blaming McDavid. Tyson Barrie was in no man's land. If you look, he
was awful tonight. Barrie was so flat.
It was like Dallas. The coverage on that first goal was like Dallas Eakins was the coach, and they went back to the swarm defense, circa 13-14.
I don't know why Barrie is our first pair. He's with Nurse. He's up against the toughest opposition. He was directly on the ice for at least 3 of those goals tonight. Why is he out there on the first pair?
And the thing, so Carolina is a lot like New Jersey in the way that their forwards are all the same, prototype. They're small, they're fast, they get on you so hard, they're so aggressive on the forecheck. And when you have a slow defense, like 4 of the Oilers' 6 defensemen, I would consider, slow, they just make you pay. And to watch Tyson Barrie, who I'm not even gonna call him a defenseman, he's the world's slowest rover. He is always just out of position. He's always one step behind. Yeah, he'll make a few good passes in the offensive zone, but is it really worth paying him all this money to do a job that you have Evan Bouchard? I put Cece, put Kulak, put Nurse. I don't care. Call up Phil Kemp from Bakersfield. Phil Kemp could do a better job than Tyson Barrie's done.
We're waiting for Desharnais to come back. Desharnais can't get back fast enough. Oh my God,
I don't know. Michael Kesselring, Vincent Desharnais, I do not care, but they're all better than Tyson Barrie. It's absolutely ridiculous the effort you get defensively from this guy. And I understand he's a good guy and he's a good teammate and all his teammates like him, but you are in the NHL. The Oilers, this would be acceptable. Honestly, Dennis, the Oilers are still, I think they were 8-7 now.
8-7, yeah.
For a lot of teams, I'd say for 15, 20 teams in the league, if this was their record after the 14 games, it's an acceptable 15 games, whatever. It's an acceptable record. But for this team with this talent, I don't care about the injuries. I don't care about anything. All the expectations going into the season. This is not acceptable. There needs to be fundamental issues. You know who you got nothing from tonight? Janmark, and Shore. Like, they played so bad. Like, what do they do?
Yeah.
Like, tell me what you get from them in the lineup versus anyone else. Like, would you not rather have James Hamlin or someone who's 22, 23, 24?
Klim Kostin, James Hamlin.
Literally anyone. Like you could not have been worse. You just see like the decisions. Like, this is a decision I saw pointed out on Twitter by Tyler Yaremchuk. He points out the Oilers have their best shift of the second period. The McDavid line, it drives them not on the line at the time. They're hemming in. They pin Carolina in, and it's a solid pressure for like a minute. And
what's the move?
First line over the boards. Who is it?
Send out the fourth. What?
Kills all momentum. Kills everything. Because Devin Shore, oh my God, he might as well be playing with a ringette stick. Like, literally. Like, why do you bring a hockey stick? You can see, you want to save money? Stop buying Devin Shore hockey sticks, because clearly he doesn't need them. Like,
we got a lot of new chatters. I'm seeing a lot of new names in chat. Jacob, yikes, I'm throwing up.
Yeah, we're almost.
I don't know if that was
live.
throw up. That was my soul leaving my body. Handshake, line, respect. Hey, yep, lots. Good to see you guys here. Martin, Leaf fan. Greg Pound.
Hit the like button, guys.
Hit the like
button.
Helps
us out a lot. Let us see my mental state deteriorate over the course of a season. Because if this keeps happening and Campbell keeps getting the net, I might lose it. I might end up in a loony bin by the end of the season. We'll see.
Hopefully, I tweeted it out there. And if you guys are able to, Twitter, Facebook, whatever your preferred social media is, give us a follow there. I tweeted it out. This is hopefully the worst game of the season for the Oilers, because this was a game where for all three periods the Oilers just got outplayed by a Carolina Hurricanes team that was missing their primary goalie. I mean, it depends on what you want to say. Ranta was played yesterday, coming on a back-to-back, and Anderson was gone. So you're playing against their third goalie, who's a rookie, who's playing his fourth game in the NHL. And in the beginning, I thought, hey, they're shelling him. That's great. That's what you want to do. You want to test the rookie goalie early. And then it just went sideways. Like, shit just like hit the fan. Everyone was playing like they got rocks in their feet. And we brought it up in our little pre-show chat. Zach and I were listening to the broadcast, and I love Louis, I love Jack, but they were bringing up how hard it is to play 3 games in 4 days, and that it's arguably worse to do that than a back-to-back. I don't think so. Like, they played last night, but the Canes had so much jump, and they absolutely dominated the Oilers in everything. Like, if we're I would say, if you're looking at shots, if you're looking at possession, you're looking at face-offs, you're looking at like everything. Okay, we had a higher power play percentage, but they got 4 power plays and they scored on one of them. We only got 2, so 50% over 25%, sure, but damn, that's actually even, right? Like, one power play goal apiece.
Yeah, no, the Oilers special teams, they weren't the issue. It was the 5-on-5 play, but it wasn't necessarily the 5-on-5 play. A different game. Like, if you're telling me if Stuart Skinner was in net, that the Oilers, I would bet so much money they win this game, because Campbell let in atrocious goals. The third goal, the fourth goal, the fifth goal, the sixth goal, like, those don't go in on NHL goalies. Then it's a 2-2 game or whatever. You don't, Draisaitl doesn't hit the post. You don't flub a penalty shot. And Holloway's cursed by the hockey gods. But one thing we're not gonna, like, Holloway, as far as like positives to take away another guy,
Holloway was great.
Real quick. Holloway, he played a career high in ice time. He did have that one giveaway that led directly to a goal. I like that Jay Woodcroft put him right back out there. He was creating. I liked him on the line at the end of the game with Nugent-Hopkins and Hyman. I thought they were creating right away. And when you get a line that's without McDavid and Draisaitl that can sustain offensive zone pressure against a good team like the Canes, that's something you stick with. I hope that's something they keep going forward. I pray to God we don't see McDry next game against Florida. And next game is a matinee. So you could easily be looking at a situation where they're 8-8 real quick here.
Good point by Greg Pound here. Other than the Connor goal, we didn't score because Burns put in that one on his own net. We only had Connor score 1 goal. It was a beautiful goal, highlight reel. But every other goal had nothing to do with the Oilers. It was just the Canes. And we are absolutely fucked if this is what Campbell's going to put out. I saw comments in here. David W. Yeah, we did so well against Carolina on the first matchup.
Well,
I don't know
well,
if
they
it's
had
like
an
a
NHL
revenge.
create a player in net, and all of a sudden he starts making saves left and right. Like, dude, like you. And the problem is every game this year, whether it's oh my god, I can't even remember whether it's Charlie Lindgren against Washington or Eric Comrie in Buffalo. Like, you gotta stop letting these. Comrie's been good this season, so you would kind of put him in there with an asterisk. But those no name, these no name goalies come out of nowhere and just stone the Oilers like they're prime Dominic Hasek. It's ridiculous. Like, you guys are so good. You've the two best offensive players in the world, and you can't score on someone's EASHL character. Like, come on. I saw people in chat.
Some stranger in the chat, Puljujarvi. Yeah, Puljujarvi. I think this is one of his worst games of the season. Normally, I'm a Jesse Puljujarvi fan. I will defend that man, but he didn't look good on the first line. He didn't look like he belonged on the first line.
He definitely played a slower game tonight for sure. As far as like expected goals, like he was still at the top. I can't remember which one I had it up because Jesse Puljujarvi, expect goals for percentage. He led the Oilers to 50%, but again, that's goals for percent, not expected goals. So I do think he definitely struggled tonight. For me, the thing with Jesse. I know I always say that moving your feet or whatever, but to me, it looks like when he gets the puck in transition, kind of in the neutral zone, he kind of stops skating, and he's one of the players who I think he's generally pretty good with Connor. We're getting him the puck with speed, kind of when you're standing on the half wall, like at your own blue line, and he kind of does that little chip to the middle of the ice where Connor just picks it up with speed and just goes, and that's something he's good at. But tonight, I don't know, there was just something about the way he played where it wasn't
just Puljujarvi's passes. It seemed like everyone's passes were off the mark.
Even
like, barely any of them were tape to tape.
I want to see. That's something I saw, and that's something in my head when I was watching at the beginning of the period. I was kind of blaming on the ice. I was like, when I watched the power play. No, and again, I know it's not. Like, they played dog shit, dude. I'm not trying to give them an excuse.
But again, the Canes played on the same ice, and unless their ice is always this shitty, so that they learned how to play on it, I think it's just awful play by the Oilers tonight. Just nothing connecting.
Well, I see Greg Pound in chat saying put RNH back on the wing. He can't drive a line. And the thing is, I agree with you in the sense when you see, in the playoffs, he's on the line with Devin Shore and Zach Cassidy, and he can't drive that line. But again, I'm going to go back to the line that I said with Holloway and Hyman. I think Hyman and Nuge are fine 5-on-5 offensively if Nuge is going to be the center there. Do I like Nuge on the wing with Draisaitl or McDavid? Yes, absolutely. But the problem is you're going to have to spread it out. You're going to have to make changes. You can't go like this going forward. So whether he plays center or whatever, I don't know. But going forward against Florida, I expect to see some big changes. I hope Shore and Janmark are out of the lineup. I don't care that maybe it's unfair to give Janmark one game, whatever. He's so slow. He's so ineffective. Could you tell me the first thing he's good at?
I don't know if it's the nerves. That cross check, maybe it was a bit of a weak call, but that first shift that Janmark plays, and you take a penalty right away.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same bullshit march to the penalty box. And did the refs? Do I think the refs had a bad game? Absolutely. But the fact is, that's so far and away out of our control. All we can do is not give the refs a chance to call those stupid penalties. And when you're gonna be a player like Matthias Janmark coming off the bench and hammering someone, the refs are going to call that. And also, one point I want to make, another thing that the Canes were excellent at tonight that they didn't get called once for, and I'm shocked. It was like Nick Nurse was running their bench at one point. The amount of picks these guys were setting, you could have told me that they were the Charlotte Hornets, I would have believed you. They could be an NBA team. They were running pick and roll. Brent Burns put on a master class, just turning his head one way, putting his body in the lane so McDavid can't get by, just constantly. McDavid was faced with picks left and right. And you know what? If the refs aren't going to call it, and I'm the Carolina Hurricanes, that's how you shut down the Oilers, right? You get in the way, you take a million penalties, the refs aren't going to call it. There was plays where in the third, Hyman's tripped by two Canes, nothing. They were constant.
Can we talk about the Derek Ryan penalty?
That's ridiculous.
It was in the air. He wasn't deliberately trying to throw it over the glass. He just whacked at it, and it was airborne.
That was
Come
atrocious.
on, refs. And you could tell immediately they did a makeup call. I can't remember who it was. Kokonyemi maybe. They immediately went back, gave a makeup call to the Oilers, and then we scored on that one. That was the one where Draisaitl hit post.
It was the most obvious makeup call in the world. Like 9 seconds after the penalty expires, they give the makeup call. And like, thanks for the makeup call, but you idiots are the reason we're in this situation in the first place. Like, there is no consistency whatsoever. The amount of trips, the amount of times you see McDavid starting, and McDavid never says anything whatsoever. Never. He doesn't do anything. And the fact is, like, I don't know if Nick David needs to start complaining or what needs to happen, but something needs to change, because at this point, I want to say the Oilers are the most penalized team in the NHL. Right? Like, how did this happen? I don't think they were close last year. This is a huge issue. Their penalty kill isn't good enough to handle this.
There's only, I think, a couple of teams, maybe like 2 teams that are more penalized than the Oilers, and for good reason. One of those is someone we'll be playing next game, the Florida Panthers. I don't know. Is Tkachuk back from his suspension in time for this game?
They played the one game. He was suspended 2 games. They played the one game against Carolina, and that was yesterday. And then they don't play again until they play the Oilers. I want to say that he might be out again for that game, but again, I don't know if they played before. Honestly, I'm so hyper focused on the Oilers this season after being on Game Over for the first time. So I do admit that I tend to miss a couple things here and there with other teams. So I'm not 100% sure if Tkachuk is going to be back or not.
We'll see.
But that's obviously a huge factor.
Yeah, I mean, let's. I'm going to put it out there right now. Matthew Tkachuk is a fucking rat. You do not stick the toe of your blade into a goalie's mask. That's fucking ridiculous. But all by and by, I'm here for good hockey games. If he's playing, we're in for a bit more of a treat. I wish Kane could be there, because I think pretty much throughout that Battle of Alberta playoff series,
Tkachuk will be back in the chat. Jacob says Tkachuk will be back.
He'll be back?
Games,
okay.
So there we go. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Jacob. Yeah, we will get that game for you. Hopefully, it'll be a good, entertaining game. It's a matinee game against the Panthers.
I don't think it will be a good, entertaining game, judging off tonight's effort and judging off the past 2 matinees. Can I hope for the best and pray to God that it is an entertaining game? Absolutely. But I do not have high expectations at this point in time. I am not confident.
I mean, Zach, you've done all the matinees so far, and yeah, they've been abysmal. St. Louis, and then Dallas, even worse. Actually, I don't know. Is this game worse than the Dallas game?
I would say, to me, this is the worst game of the season. Just the sour note that it ended on was it's just atrocious. And I saw people also on Twitter saying sometimes you need a loss like this to, kick you in the nuts and get you ready for the next game and get you real sour, get the vocal leaders in the dressing room speaking their mind, and you need the hard truths to come out and this and that and all the other inspirational stuff. But I've said that after the game against Dallas, and I said that after the game against New Jersey, and I said that after. At some point, this team is what it is. And I saw people talking about Ken Holland in the chat earlier, unless people like Ken Holland make changes, we're just going to see the same thing over and over again. Well, hopefully Skinner starts, and that should be a big boost right there.
Hopefully.
Because you're not playing down 4 goals off the jump, and you're not focused. Instead of focusing on the game, you're focusing on cheering up Jack Campbell. And again, I feel bad for him. I was really hard on him earlier.
He's a great guy. Let's separate player from play, right? Like, the player, Jack Campbell, great guy, like amazing personality. I hate to see him down on himself, but the play on the ice is atrocious. And I think when you're going to have a guy like this that's emotional and he's a little bit distraught, like you can't pamper him. Like, we can't give him starts just because of one good game. Like, let's ride Skinner. Let's see how good he is. You're right. Like, honestly, can't be much worse than tonight.
No.
Yeah,
dude. I sorry. I just, another thing that I saw in chat, and I just don't think we harped on it enough. And I know everything. We got to say, Jacob's bringing it up about the defending. The defending is atrocious, and I agree. And one thing that I'm thinking, and I've seen, kind of speculated upon, it seems like the systems that Dave Manson and Jay Woodcroft brought in when they came over, took over from Jim Playfair and Dave Tippett. They and that switch up what they had, where there was all different gap control, and it was way more fluid motion and defense, and they were way harder on battles, and they were consistently getting the puck out, and they were transitioning way better, and they were converting defense to offense way smoother. It just seems like Nurse's. I saw a B. Curlock say this on Twitter. He is a great follow. I think his name's Brendan on Twitter. He follows the Condors. He watches every Condors game. So when Jay Woodcroft came up to the NHL, he knew all the systems already, and he knew what to expect. So he was saying on Twitter that essentially Darnell Nurse is not playing the systems at all right now. Like, he is just full on, do whatever I want. I'm the best defenseman. Like, I can just do it myself. I don't need coaching.
I honestly don't know if they're following Manson's systems, because you see
it doesn't seem like it.
You see things like Murray just driving in deep, Barry driving in deep.
Well, Murray and Barry are. I don't know what they're doing. Like, Murray and Barry are so far and away just gone from everything that should be like what a defenseman is. Like, they're just so deep in the zone. Like, they're creating, and make Tyson Barrie this will never happen, but make him the three right wing. Like, there solves your problem.
Yeah, there you go.
Wingers right back.
Throw him on the wing.
Exactly. He's just too slow. He gets caught flat-footed constantly. He makes bad reads constantly. He's always in the wrong position. If these lapses, and again, and I know we're shitting on Campbell, but they could have, Patrick Waugh, Dominic, they could have this creative player from Carolina in their net tonight. And if Tyson Barrie's making those bad reads, it doesn't matter who's in net, because they're going to
it away in the slot.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, it's just sense. The defense. That's where I think, out of all the things, like, yeah, there's fundamental issues. The problem is, the defense needs to change. That's at its core, at its finest. I'm at the point where I think it's a trade. You need someone serviceable and fast. You need
something serious, something to show that there are consequences to the Oilers playing like they did today.
No,
wanted to highlight Black Masakari in chat. Hi, good to see you again. It's real late, if I remember correctly. Thanks so much for tuning in, and thanks so much for chat. If you're here, give us a like. Share it with your friends. It really helps us out.
Yeah.
There's been just a really brutal sort of play by all of the Oilers defensemen throughout this season so far. I think you're right. It's time to send a message. Holland needs to do something, and it's something more meaningful than trading away Samorukov.
The status quo is not acceptable. I see there's 50 people watching live concurrently, but we only got 18 likes. So, if you're watching, you want to hit that like button, please be fantastic. But yeah, Dennis, sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, no, like, we need to do something. I'm seeing a lot of, we need Duncan Keith back. I mean, we didn't think that Keith would be this instrumental to the Oilers' defense last year.
It's because, okay, Kulak in the perfect role, he's actually really effective, and you can still see he's one of the few defensemen who's a really smooth skater, can break up the cycle. He's really effective in the role that he's put in. If he's an elite number 5 on a Stanley Cup contender, I don't think he's a number 4, right? I've seen that brought up on Twitter by many people as well. The thing was, before they had Keith to kind of, we said this was Keith, the best defenseman, not by a long shot, but Keith allowed for Nurse and Kulak to be slotted into those roles where they're most effective and most comfortable. Kulak is playing way too many minutes, and Darnell Nurse is trying to do way too much. You need someone steady. You need someone solid on the left side that's not Marcus Niemelainen or Philip Broberg, because I know he's going to get a shot, but let's be real here. It's like we see with Dylan Holloway. Dylan Holloway, in theory, fantastic. It should work, but we need it's win now. We need someone established.
We're past the point where we're looking at a rookie and going, is this the savior of the Edmonton Oilers? Like, we can't do that anymore.
No. Trade the picks, trade them all. Do not care. You need an established left defenseman. Once you fix that left side, then you take a look at the right side. Okay, Cody Ceci is not nearly as effective as he was last season in the top pair right defensive role. You have a guy in Evan Bouchard who I think you can slot there now. At least for now, as he's as good as you're going to get in that role. That slot Ceci down. You play Ceci with Kulak, whether it's on the third pair that's defensively responsible. But the problem, this circle brick that you're trying to shove into an anthole is Tyson Barrie on this defense. Like, there's just no, like, okay, you get a left defenseman that's solid, maybe you could hide him. But the problem is you're always trying to find a spot to hide Tyson Barrie. There's no place in this lineup that he fits smoothly. There's no carved out role that he fills.
At least when he's on the third line, he's our third pair, he's not actively against the best players on the ice.
Yeah,
again, like, I know we had to do some shuffling because I actually CC Kulak has been decent so far. I'm okay with that. I don't know why Bouchard's paired with Murray. Like, can we swap those two back again? Like,
Woodcroft with the D pairings is trying to just find something that works. She's throwing shit at the wall at this point. It's not clicking. The problem is you're kind of hampered. You're dealt the cards that you have, and right now the cards that Ken Holland gave him on defense, I thought their offense would be good enough to overcome it. Clearly, it's not. I don't know. As in Stone one in chat with, the point and no points. I wish Clefbaum was healthy. Man, do I miss Oscar Clefbaum. He was my favorite player for such a long time. It's such a shame. The Oilers lost their number one defense pairing. Like, people don't realize a lot. If you're outside of the Oilers or Edmonton market, you don't realize that Edmonton lost their number one defense pairing for, like, over the course of 4 years for literally nothing. Yeah. Oscar Klefbom was, a top. I will fight
LTIR space.
He was a top 15 defenseman in the NHL for that 16, 17, even like 17, 18. Like, he was so bloody fantastic. And Adam Larson, the season that he left here, he became one of the best shutdown to Chris Tanev level defensemen in the NHL. Has he been as good in Seattle? No. But imagine you had Adam Larson and Oscar Klefbom on this blue line. How different. You don't have the Cody Ceci contract. You probably don't never bring in Tyson Barrie in the first place because you have Klefbom. Like,
Klefbom runs the power play.
They make the same amount of money. It's just there's so many fundamental issues you see along the way that put the Oilers on this path. And there needs to be changes here. The Oilers, we've shat on them all night. They're good enough to come. They're good enough. They have the talent to go on a run. That's the thing. That's why it's not like Calgary. Calgary's sputtering. Calgary needs. I don't know if I was Calgary. I don't know what I'd do. I'd be buying a Connor Bedard jersey. Dude.
Think about it, right? Like, the Blues are horrible right now. Calgary's horrible right now.
Even the Avs, not that good.
Avs not doing too great. I mean, they won the 2 games in Finland. Fine. Yeah. But,
against Columbus.
It's Columbus. This is a weird season right now. And you know what? Like, I think the Blues set a weird precedent with their win back in 19, was it? They were into the Christmas break.
It was like January 1st, they were dead last in the NHL. But that's the exception, not the rule. Let's stop citing them.
Everyone stop saying that's evident. I'm sorry, Canuck fans. It's not happening. Try to get Connor Bedard. Call it a season, okay? But
with the Oilers, just when you look at the Oilers, they have enough time. They can lose, and we know that, we say we're sitting here, we're yelling for Ken Holland, we're screaming for Ken Holland to make a change. But we know that the talent they have is good enough to get them to a certain point. They're not in a situation like Calgary or any of these other teams. Like the Oilers, when you have Connor McDavid, you're never out of it. And that's why it's even more frustrating when you see these mismanagements from the top down, like right from the top all the way down to the players themselves. Like, you just know that they can be so much better. You want them to be better. Like, I know we're not going to see a good effort next game. I hope there's a great chance the Oilers come out, they win 5-3. The Oilers could lose 8-1 or win 8-1. You literally never know. Every time this team gets on the ice, it's like a magic 8-ball. There's the sports interaction could be. I don't know how they set odds for this team. It makes no sense.
Roll a d20. We'll see how it goes. What the score is. Zach, you got the next game. Oilers, Panthers, 2 p.m. We'll hope that they can win a matinee for once. We'll hope that they'll play well for a matinee for once. We did run a little bit long tonight, but let's start wrapping up the show. It's been such a great time. Chat's been absolutely pumping. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, drop a like, drop a follow, subscribe to the channel. Zach, let's finish it off with a little tradition. One thing tonight, no ifs, ands, or buts, no interruptions. I'll start it off. I saw a tweet from Brendan Escott, one of the hosts on 630 Ched's Oilers Now. Kulak had the Kevlar arm sleeves on tonight. So that's good to see. I mean, hopefully we see more players start donning those on. They're not thick. They're relatively thin. It's kind of like the Under Armour type of thing. After that injury with Kane, scary stuff. Good to see that they are starting to throw a little bit more caution onto wrist injuries there. That's my one thing. Zach?
Yeah, I wish I had a one thing, man, but I yelled about 25 ththings during the entire broadcast, so I think I'll just leave it there. I'll make my one thing my Twitter handle. It's ZWheel97 on Twitter. It's ZWHEEL97. And Dennis, that's where you can find me. But Dennis, where can they find you?
Dennis Lee YEG. All right, thank you so much for watching, everyone. We did go a little bit long, but thanks for staying here with us.
Let's thank everyone in chat. Thanks Stone One, thanks David, thanks Greg Pound.
Kang.
Black Massacari, Jacob, everyone for tagging along throughout the night. Handshake Line, Renee Gademan, some stranger. Everyone in chat, thanks for tagging along. I hope you guys will come back next game and hopefully the Oilers win. But if not, I'm sure you'll have something to laugh at if they don't win. I'm sitting out here screaming.
Hey Zach, if we lose the next game, will you make a bet? Will you hop on that bed behind you on Saturday?
Pull a Kaya?
And pull a Kaya May. If y'all don't know in chat, Kaya May from Game Over Vancouver team, well known for her screeches every time the Canucks blow an absolute game. Zach, will you do it? If we
I don't think the Oilers are bad enough, but I'll do that with you. I'll jump on my bed. I'll do something funny. I don't know. We'll see. I hope they win though, so I don't have to. But anyways,
both, brother. You and me both. All right, Saturday, 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Oilers against the Panthers. Zach will have the host for that one. Thank you so much for watching, chat. We will call it a night here. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Game over! Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada Sportsbook.